Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Temple Hayes podcast on Fire for Life. Oh, my goodness. And me, as well as my wonderful friend, Carefree Medium, Susanne Wilson. We are on fire today. We have come out of the post traumatic stress of the election, and now we're moving into the holiday season of joy. Just open yourself. The word joy. Keep that heart open. Do not close it down. Susanne, you are one by far that lives with your open heart. I can see it all over your face. Thank you for being with us today. What a blessing you are.
Thrilled to be here. You know that I've been a fan of yours for a long time, and I
Mm.
appreciate that you were on my Carefree and Conscious pod.
Yes,
Well, here I
absolutely.
come back during the holidays. That is so cool.
It is. And that we are, we are here and we're committed to the work that we do. And somebody asked me today, are you still following things in politics? No, that's not my area of specialty. I did what I could, and what happened is what's happened. And I'm continuing, like always, to do the work like you are. And I so appreciate what you bring to the world. And to me, I was talking about yesterday about there we have many chakras, but I was talking about the main seven and how the heart is the bridge to the lower human aspects, right? Physical, emotional, mental, if you do it in that order coming up. And then the heart is the bridge. And that bridge being open is what allows brilliant, truly brilliant people like you to be future seers, to tune into the pineal gland and the third eye and that energy. So thank you for keeping your heart open, Susanne. And I know you have had, I just know it, some intuitive insights of moving into being totally alive in 2025. I'm sure you've had some ideas you would like to share with us or thoughts.
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate the fact that you're already tuning into me, and
Yes.
together we can join the heart space energies and send that love. I call it love with a capital L out to
Mm,
everybody watching or listening. The love with a capital L is different from little L love. Little L love is like how I love chips and salsa. And
mm,
capital L is emanating energy out. So, you guys, if you ever want to send love to someone, you think you want to send them love, and you're like, what does that even mean? We don't have to feel the emotion of love because you can't make yourself feel an emotion, but you can think of compassion or you can think of respect. And you can see like two doors opening on your heart area and the chest. And from that area, just send light, see them happy, healthy, and whole, and send light to them. And you don't have to sit there and go send, 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 and like overdo it. Just turn on that love light and let it go. And you can do that for the planet. You can do that for your food, all your nutrition. You can do that for your loved ones and your animals. And Lord knows we need as much love as we can get right now. But I'm actually optimistic about
mhm.
2025. I don't have pessimism. Generally, I have realism. You know, I don't think anybody that really knows me would ever say that I'm a Pollyanna or that I see through rose-colored glasses. I really am excited about 2025. And I think the word for 2025 is transformation.
Mm.
And then towards the end of 2025, I think we're going to see even more action. But what I'm getting from my own spiritual team and from my deep meditations and just, reading the vibes is that right now we're being tempted to be in fear. We're being tempted to be in anticipation of something bad happening. When does the other shoe drop? I mean, Temple, look at these weird drones and these
Mhm.
orbs and all this stuff going on. So
Mhm.
I want to say right now about that particular element because I don't know about your inbox, but my inbox is full of drone questions. It's starting
Mm.
to taper down now, people are just kind of like, drones, oh well, what's the
Hmm.
price of gas? But we're tempted to get distracted from what's important. We're tempted to get distracted into dividing amongst ourselves so that we don't see bigger picture things, so that we don't see the consolidation of power, of the powers that be. So, what I want to ask people to do is just keep in mind that there isn't a president or a prime minister or a dictator that's really running the show. The running the show around us is the divine source, that
Hmm.
universal consciousness that lives and moves and has its our we live and move and have our being in universal consciousness. Absolutely. And the societal structures that we see, they're not even controlled by presidents, prime ministers, and dictators. We don't know the names of those out there who are shaping policy and aligning strategies to consolidate their power and get all the money and get all the resources. So don't believe that someone can take things away from you. That personal sovereignty is first and foremost your personal inner peace. Peace is always possible so long as you make your inner peace a priority. I also feel like there's going to be a big move towards disclosure. Now, I'm in Mexico, and I'll say what I mean by that in a second, but I'm in Mexico right now. A couple times a year, I have to get to an ocean. And because I live in the desert and I do travel a lot and I do have retreats in other countries, and then I'll tack on vacation time because I mean, you're there, of
Yes.
course. And I take a lot of tours and talk to a lot of people. And the folks that I've talked to here, they're looking at the United States and saying, we don't know what's going on there, but it feels like you guys are figuring out who you are.
Hmm.
So for the Americans, and I'm assuming there's a big American audience here, figure out who you are as an individual. Don't let anyone tell you who you are. Don't let them divide you into red, blue, black, white, brown, whatever it is. Think of yourself as a universal citizen
Hmm.
first and foremost, and look at your thoughts, words, and actions and align them with being a good citizen. This temptation to hate and divide and want to argue with bots on social media, that I see dwindling down. I see that disappearing. I see, and the proof is in the eating of the pudding. When I open things like Facebook, which in my mind I think of as fussbook, it's kind of like you have to have it when you run a company, but you wish you didn't have to. You wish you could just see, all the happy stuff of the people you're close to. I see a lot less arguing, and maybe somebody else sees more, but I see it more as bots are arguing with bots now. Let's
Hmm.
check out of all of that. Let's check out of the noise and check into the heart center. So I want to go back to what you said about the heart center. It's every energy center, every chakra below the heart that keeps you grounded, keeps you centered. Your solar plexus, your your power source, your gut feelings, the fire in
Hmm.
the belly.
Hmm.
That energy center has to be strong so that everything above that center, which is your spiritual connection, can stay in focus. So, what does that mean? That means in 2025, when you have all these temptations of, oh, it's like squirrel, oh, shiny thing over here, oh, weird news story, oh, they're fighting about the budget and will the US government close or whatever. My form of protest, and I know that you're definitely into speaking up and speaking out for what's right. My form of protest is to not give all these little like death by 1,000 paper cuts news stories, not to give them my attention.
Mm-mm.
I
Me
observe
neither.
them,
I
right?
don't click on them. If so many people would just make that decision, don't click on what you don't want to stick. Ooh, that rhymed. Don't click
Don't click.
on what you don't want to stick. If that was just the decision, that's the decision I made at the around Thanksgiving is I'm just not going to click on things that even with the title doesn't have the right vibration for me. And it
Good.
has just been so wonderful because that's how they measure what you keep wanting more of, is what you're clicking on and sometimes even complaining about. So that's one thing. And for me, it's like it's about whatever one is talking about, whatever a universal citizen is talking about, or shall I say, in reference to talking against, is to, are you involved? What are you doing? Or just sitting around getting energy and being fed by talking and complaining. It still goes back to those same formulas, like the person on the sideline telling the people on the team how to play. It doesn't work. It's not effective. Show people. You'll love this because I read it yesterday. I spoke it yesterday. Thich Nhat Hanh said that, people are fascinated with someone walking on the water, but what fascinates him more is a person walking on this physical earth and remaining at peace. I love that. He said that's the true miracle. And isn't that the truth? That's so much your work and what you facilitate and teach other people to do, and shining your light and those. And I have been that way too all my life. It's like I'm going to focus on things I can do something about. I don't want to give a lot of my energy to things I have no control over, or that I'm not educated in, or I don't know enough to speak about. There's enough that I know what I know about what I know that can keep me engaged for a very long time.
Well, and in this coming year, artificial intelligence is going to be used in a way to try to further divide us.
Of
I mean,
course.
it's really difficult to tell the difference between a real video and something
Hmm.
that's been put together that you have to figure it out and fact check it later. And so what I'm seeing are people who are just refusing to just give it energy and buy in immediately.
Hmm.
And like I said, bots arguing with bots. And so what's going
Hmm.
to happen? Those that want to divide and control the narrative, two different objectives there with tactics that are similar. They're going to step that up. So we have to become ever more vigilant about what we're looking at, what gets our attention, and furthermore choose our battles a lot more wisely coming up. We can't take on every debate and every issue, and it's just not worth it. That energy into action, you've often said, be careful you don't drive a stolen car.
Hmm.
With that
Hmm.
car, you want to load it up with what can be done. And it has to be community. It has to be community based. It has to be community level. If you think that someone is at risk of being deported, you have to find out if there's something that you can do that will help them stay. They've been working, they've been contributing. We have to work within the systems that we have, but maybe you can volunteer somehow at an
Hmm.
organization, an agency. I mean, things you see that you don't like, what can you do that is a positive force? But we know that it always starts with the individual. And so I want to go back to that word disclosure. There's a lot of emphasis right now that, are these drones that are going through the air? Are they alien or whatever? And everything and everyone I've spoken to, and I have access to a lot of people that have way more knowledge than me, way above my pay grade, that they're quasi government, quasi military activities that are going on. And there are these things that are sort of like none of our business, according to,
Hmm.
who makes those decisions, but that they're also tracking um, organisms or entities that are man-made using advanced technologies
Hmm.
that we've gotten from interdimensional sources. And not that there seems to be no danger at all, and my read from my spiritual team is no danger, but it's just so handy that it's happening right now because it's distracting us from so many other things going on. But
Absolutely.
while we're getting scared over something that's not scary, we're missing all that aligning of strategies, all that employment
Hmm.
of tactics to consolidate power, get control. Just the only person that has your best interests at heart is the divine source in yourself. And then you have this tight little group. You keep your circle tight of people that are like-minded and people that you love, family members. They'll have your best interests at heart. But as a soul, the path that you're walking is a learning path. So no matter how nice everybody is around you or how careful you are, you're going to step into some ditches and, turn your spiritual ankle from time to time. Let's reserve those learning lessons for things that are smart, for things that further our wisdom. We have the experience, we assess the experience, we go through it, then we integrate it, and that's how we create wisdom. But you never create wisdom by chasing all of these crazy things that are
Mm-hmm.
happening. It'll get crazier for a little while in terms of news stories and weirdness, and especially about things that we're seeing in flying around us. Do not fear. I think I've read that the most quoted phrase in the Christian Bible is do not fear. And that's where we have to be. I also think we're going to have some surprises in terms of people coming out and talking about their own spirituality, people that we never thought that they were a woo-woo person, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
that there's going to be a sort of a revealing and an unveiling of people having near-death experiences and talking about them, of people saying they've had above the norm spiritual contact with angels. There seems to be a huge angelic presence that, I think the wars and things have brought out. There's a thinning of the veil going on because our strong emotions since the whole COVID activities, our strong emotions of either fear or love actually serve to thin that veil. They work against those energies of division between the dimensions, and they bring the spirit people closer to us because they want to comfort us and lift us up. So we have a lot more, metaphorically speaking, we have a lot more places coming in the next year where the tear in the fabric of, say, an angelic realm, that opens up and
Mm-hmm.
it aligns with a tear in the fabric of the veil here. And so I think we're going to have a lot more sightings of things that people don't understand. But if they approach these experiences with curiosity and an open heart, the discernment will kick in. Now, if you're arguing with bots on social media and doing things like that, or if you're thinking hateful thoughts towards your neighbor, these experiences will scare you and you won't get the benefit from them. So, having an open mind, an open heart, doing what you can at a community level that's positive, putting your money where your mouth is and working towards what you want to see. If ever there was a time to do it, it's this next year.
I love that. If ever there was a time to do it, it's really now.
It's now. Next year is almost here. I think this is airing like right before Christmas, or right after Christmas. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we also have the Christmas blues, the holiday blues.
We're in Hanukkah,
Right?
you know,
Hanukkah's
and
going on.
Kwanzaa. We have
You name it.
Kwanzaa, our beautiful African heritage
And the loved
celebration.
ones in spirit are
Mm-hmm.
so close by right now. I just had a session the other day with a woman who said she did not want to put her decorations out. I talked to a man the other day who said he doesn't even know where the menorah is because they've lost someone. And I always say
Mm-hmm.
lost in quotes
Mm-hmm.
because no one we love has ever really lost.
Someone's
They've
died.
gone
Right. Yeah.
home with a capital H.
Yeah.
And the loved ones in spirit are like, okay, if you want to take a break, take a break. But eventually you're going to do these things again because you're blessed. You're still here. You still have living to do. You still have work to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, but there's a lot of emotion this time of year where people sit back and assess what happened and maybe things didn't go the way they want. You know what? We have this wonderful divine source that is within us, all around us, that is going to use and leverage every possible experience that we have for our benefit. That saying, the universe is conspiring in your favor, is so true. That's
Hmm.
one thing to rely on right now, is something good will come. And that opens your awareness through the heart chakra. If you're thinking that I'm looking for the good, something good will come, it opens your awareness to see the good and follow those little breadcrumbs, follow that trail, and something even greater can happen to you. So also look for a big step up in synchronicities, those freaky deaky coincidences that seem to point the way. Also look for a step up in those who want to make direct contact with a spirit guide or an angel, or a beloved person or pet in spirit, to be successful, more successful now, because the frequency, even though it seems low and dense out there, low vibe and dense out there, it's not.
Hmm.
That is a symptom of this shift, this change that's happening going into a new frequency. It's like, that the scab has to sort of crust over and then
Hmm.
fall off and fall away. I'm actually really excited about what's to come.
Oh, me too. Me too. And since the latter 1800s, since even before that, when there was print material, Ralph Waldo Emerson was saying, stop looking to the news to teach you how to think. And we're still here, but now there's a bombardment. There's notifications. If you turn them on your phone, there's contact. It's coming at you. There's, the TV or even the series, unless you pay all this extra here and there, you still get the commercials and things. And so what I would hold is that before you speak, think, you know, before you act, feel into the moment. Is this really you now? That's what I know you do so much of and teach. Susanne, with your work, Carefree Medium, you can find her on Instagram, you can Google. She's everywhere. But that being said, um, we really teach people there's not a one size fits all. And to go into the best thing we can do is not have our own home divided, our own inner dwelling place, because united we stand as a dwelling place, and divided we are merely a distraction. And so to work from an energetic field of when you have an action or when you feel called to do something, make sure you're following your own inner guidance system, because that's what will really work. And that's what really tunes you into, what Susanne is talking about, the synchronicity and that kind of energy, which is so powerful because we know better now. And we've known better for a while. And our call to each other it's different than just knowing better. We need to do better and not feed, when things are going on to distract us or get us off course. So we're calling together two wonderful, committed beings to this planet to know that you will be grounded, you will allow the fire within your energetic field to guide you. And Susanne, give us one more parting beautiful message, and also let's tell everyone how to find you and stay in touch, because you do a lot throughout the years.
Well, Carefree Medium, that's, as Temple said, you can find Carefree Medium pretty much everywhere.
Hmm.
Carefreemedium.com is the website, and also YouTube channel, and also Carefree and Conscious podcast. And I offer mentoring in small groups where we develop your intuition and we experiment, we study, we practice. I also
Mm.
have a sat sing that meets every other month online, where there's an hour of a topic and an hour of ask the guides, whatever you want to do. Now, my one-on-one wait list is like a year and a half
Hmm.
long right now. It's hard to work with folks one-on-one, but I've always been geared towards teaching people to fish so that they can nourish for a lifetime rather than give a fish so they can eat for a day.
Sure.
Let me tell you something, guys. If you focus on your personal sovereignty, your personal power, and not giving over to the story of the moment, and if you focus on that and you look through the eyes of curiosity of everything that is happening and going on around you, and use as your form of protest of not going along and being controlled, your form of protest is to say,
Mm,
fascinating, and simply observe and move on to the next whenever something's trying to get your attention. And you work on building your power around you. You are a divine being. And so learn about the seven major chakras, learn about how you strengthen those, and practice. Have a daily practice. Here's a simple one to start with in the morning. When you first wake up, it's some form of gratitude. Mine is, oh, I'm still here. I still have work
hmm
to do. Give me work to do. Show me how to do it. Make my lessons as easy as possible. Then I ask, where was I last night? Because you guys, everybody listening, astral travels and has dream visits, but we don't always remember. So ask, where was I last night? And see if a memory or an image flashes in that could be helpful, hopeful, and healing to you. And the next is, what do I need to know today?
mm,
And a word may come to you, an image, something may come to you, and do some form of energy grounding and centering so that you're ready. And be observant for the opportunities around you to be of support
mm,
to someone, because it's community is a huge, huge concept that I don't think everybody has gotten. We think community means you have to join a church. And unity is great. All of the churches are interesting and offer something in their own way, but you don't have to go join something. You are joined already. You're part of humanity.
hmm
And so if there's an animal that can be helped, a person that can be helped. And furthermore, we have to, each of us, for our own progression as souls, we have eternal progression in this world and our heavenly home. We have to learn how to, with grace, accept help from other people. And so I'm going to say one thing, probably controversial, but reach out to the loved ones in your inner circle, your inner group that you've split off with because of differences in ideologies. And
Exactly.
right,
Please.
try to
Yes.
understand them.
Please do it.
This whole thing right now at the holidays, I do have a few emails right now from people. I'm so sad I won't see my X,
Mm.
Y, and Z relatives because they voted for this and I voted for
Oh,
that.
please.
And I'm like, that's
Mm.
the reason why if there was some, SA or some kind of abuse or something going on, I can see why you would have to release, with compassion, but release, let go. If it's just about politics, don't do this. Don't do this. You will have to figure it out later, either in this life on the earth or from the other side. Figure it out now. That doesn't mean you have to hang out 7 days a week, and you certainly don't have to talk about your ideologies, but this is part of your life lesson
hmm
here is to how to maintain your centering and your personal sovereignty in the face of someone who has a different belief system or different.
Hallelujah, girl. You nailed it. You're so on. And it's such a blessing to feature you. And please listen to the call. If your value is people, if your value is relationship, if your connection is about oneness, then go in the direction where that has depth and meaning. It's easy to be nice to people when they look like you and they act like you and they say, oh, good for you. It really takes maturity and spiritual awareness to expand beyond that circle. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And we're knowing you're having a wonderful holiday, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Festivus, if you're into Seinfeld at all. And we bless you, and we behold great energy for you. And you can count on Carefree Medium being with us again in 2025. Happy New Year and many blessings to come. God bless you on this amazing journey we call life.